What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. I want to get into a couple topics today. CJ Mosley officially calls it a career, and a Jets insider has a bit of a criticism for the Aaron Glenn culture. So let's start here. CJ Mosley officially calls it a career and retires. The Jets cut Mosley this offseason. Unfortunately, with the neck and back injuries that he sustained in his career, I can't really say that I'm all that surprised that he's retiring. It just felt like a lot for him to overcome. He missed a ton of time this year, and when he was out on the field, just did not look like the same guy. I think Mosley should be remembered as a really good Jet. It started out a weird start, right? Like, gets signed to this huge Mike McCagnon contract where he completely blew up the linebacker market by giving him that, I believe it was $17 million at the time, which was a lot of money. And I remember how I felt at the time. I was like, man, I like CJ Mosley. I think he's a really good player, but $17 million, that's kind of nuts for an off-ball linebacker, right? Well, through the first three quarters in that week one game against Buffalo, he looked like, without exaggeration, the best linebacker that I've ever seen. And like, I don't really remember a ton of Mo Lewis, but I was there for I'll just list off Jet linebackers like Victor Hobson, Eric Barton, Bart Scott, David Harris. And there were some high-end play, especially from, David Harris and even Bart Scott early on in his Jets tenure. But holy shit. I mean, CJ Mosley was on another level in that game. Unfortunately, gets hurt. He tried to come back later in the season. Didn't work. He just, again, wasn't really healthy. And then he sat out 2020. So it was a weird start to his Jets career. But then he was really good from 2021 to 2023. And I know the Jets defense as a whole wasn't very good in 2021, but I give him a ton of credit for the reason why that Jets defense jumped up to being a top 5 unit in the league in 22 and 23. I mean, in my opinion, he was really the brain of that defense. Helped bring along guys like Jamian Sherwood and Quincy Williams. Both of those guys give a ton of credit to their development to CJ Mosley. And sure, Robert Saleh and Jeff Ulbrich deserve credit for that too. But being on the field and being the general on that field, he was a captain and I think just a great character guy on and off the field. So I think Jet fans should remember him fondly, even though it was, again, a weird start. Didn't really play that much down the stretch last year, but overall, really good Jet. Wish him nothing but the best. And hopefully he's someone that the Jets could have around in training camp and work with some of the linebackers. Okay, the next thing that I want to get into is Brian Costello talking about the Jets culture shift. He had a quote on his podcast with the New York Post and just wanted to play a snippet of it.
Do you sense there's a culture shift here, Kaz, under Aaron Glenn?
Yeah, because there's a new coach. There's always a culture shift. But there was a culture shift under Robert Saleh. There was a culture shift under Adam Gase. There was a culture shift under Todd Bowles. They're always different than the last guy. So here's what I feel with culture is culture's great in April, May, June. Like, you can pretty much do what you want to do, right? And establish what you want and say all the right things. If you don't win, the culture goes out the window. Like, the culture has to be reinforced by winning, and that will make guys buy into the program. You got to show them that you can put them in the right positions and win games.
I get what Brian's saying here. I really do, right? Like, someone myself said that I think winning is the next step here, and it's great that he's come in and kind of changed things culturally, but they do have to take that next step and win some football games. But maybe it's a personal thing for me, but I just don't like how he always seems to come across as so negative. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying that everyone has to be so high on the Jets. I'm personally not. I think they're going to have a losing record this year, but it feels like he's always waiting for the shoe to drop and go, see, I told you so. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Winning is really, really important, but the tone that this was portrayed in is just something that I think just bothers me here. Again, I like what Aaron Glenn has done, and I think to an extent Costello has too. And I agree that on the field is the next step on what you need to see, but I think Costello, how he said it, kind of seems like he's diminishing in a way what he's done. And I don't know, I didn't really feel that way when Todd Bowles came in or when Adam Gase came in, that, they were having this culture change just because they had a new coach. Saleh, a little bit, yes, especially in 22. I thought he was getting there, and then we know things kind of got off the rails in the second half of that season and beyond. But call me a sucker. I'm buying into Glenn's culture change. I think he's on the right track. I think he's going to be a good coach, and I'm excited. Maybe I'm just setting myself up to get hurt again, and I'm a Jets fan, and that's what we do, but I'm buying in. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.